Hi, I'm sorry I hadn't attached my microphone. You can see where my head is today. So sorry about that. I felt like I was a bit early today, so I was very proud of myself. And then I realized that I completely forgot the microphone and you can hear me. So yay. Hey, so this is how it's going. And I mean, I'm really jet lagged, so you know, it is what it is. So that being said, hi. Sorry that I need always to do this thing, but hi everyone, or welcome back to this break. So my name is Joy and I'm an art jeweler. So I create jewelry that is also considered art pieces, quite evidently by the name. And this that I'm hosting is called the Art Break Club, and the idea is that every day we take 30 minutes out of our busy days to take a break and talk about art and craft and everything regarding that world. So today is Thursday and I officially am going back to my schedule because in the last 2 weeks, you might have noticed, if you've ever been to the channel before, that I haven't been in my workshop. I was away. And so now I'm finally back and I'm putting things together again, finally. So yesterday I had a small live. It ended quite abruptly because for some reason my computer decided to shut down. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But anyway, so today is Thursdays, and on Thursdays we learn how to draw together, or at least I learn how to draw, and hopefully you're doing it with me. And if you already know how to draw, you could either tell me how to improve, give me tips and tricks, you know, courses, books, all of that is thoroughly appreciated. Or you can try a new art form with me. You can try sculpting if you've never done that, you know, crocheting, playing some music, cooking, whatever art form you want to experiment. This is the right time to do it. So take 30 minutes out of your Thursdays and try with me, because I must admit it's quite exciting. And just so you know, on Fridays we share art news. So tomorrow I'm going to share the most exciting news of the week, which involves fairs, auctions, any gossip in the art world, all of that. So without further ado, I'm just going to draw for a little bit and hopefully you're going to do it with me. So last time I started working on the mouth. I feel like this is a bit like too small for my skull, but I'm going to trust the process. So I'm not going to amend it now, but I'll try and see what happens next. So the next part I need to do is this part, which is the lower part of the face. And this is considered like a horseshoe. A horseshoe. I hope that's the right name. And it has the low part of the teeth and the chin, and obviously this part. So I'll try to draw this first, and then I'll put it in my skull like I've been doing. So I think I've done it, but I think it's quite shitty. I have to take another pencil because this is too light. So I'll try to make it better this time. Also, as I told you, I decided for this book because I really like to do like portraits, and this book has a lot of different, you know, emotional states and how they like move the face. But if you have better books or online courses, stuff like that, please send them my way. Not because I'm close to finishing it, but just because I feel maybe this is a bit like too advanced for me. So yeah. That being said, so I'll start with the base, which is quite square. I'm doing it in this corner, and I'll try to keep it at the same angle as that, because I find it really helpful to like draw these lines. Also, like this is kind of vertical, this is vertical, you know, it just helps me visualize it. So I'm gonna try do the same. I hope you can see it. If you don't, please tell me, somebody tell me. So this goes up really steeply. You can see the angles here. It's quite steep, while this is quite flat. It's close to being flat. And then this part is much less steep. I know that in this way I'm going to go over that. I kind of don't care because, I mean, it was just practice. So the two lines here go straight down. So I just need to decide the width of my jawbone. But other than that, yeah, this will go over here definitely. But I think actually I should go down here. Maybe I won't do the last part, just not to go over all of that, but still. So now I have to understand how wide is that. And actually you can see this has two steps. There's not one cylinder, it's two of them. So it goes a bit like this. And it's very much shaded, so it's not very easy to see, but it is two, I promise. Also, it's going to be Christmas and my birthday in a while. So I'm thinking about books that I can either give myself or force somebody else to give me. So if you have some good books recommendations, again, I would love to hear about them. Or even online courses, because it could be like a good moment to start them. Also, you know, during the holidays, we'll just have a bit more time. I think I need to understand where this begins. So it begins at about 1/3 of the length of this, maybe a bit more than 1/3. So if this one is, you know, should start around here. Okay. I find it pretty helpful to try to understand the proportions. I feel like this is going to be pretty wacky because it's quite a complex design to do in this perspective, at least for me, for somebody who doesn't know what the hell she's doing. So also I feel like this is a bit more than 1/3. It would be like 2/5 maybe. So I think somewhere over here it will stop. But you know, it just makes it, I think, easier to understand for my brain. And then I think this is about, again, another 2/5 here approximately. So this goes there and this goes somewhere here. I feel like maybe I've done the front part too tiny. Also, I think it's really hard to do this without any kind of reference. So when I'm doing it on the skull, I have a kind of reference, but when I'm doing it here, I don't. So that's kind of difficult for me. So if, again, these are, in here I have three arches, one that starts from here. I feel like this should be more defined, you know, where it starts and where it ends. This looks horrible. I think it's the most horrible one I've done so far, but I'm going to blame jet lag. Just going to say that I'm super jet lagged, which is kind of true, but still, it's not it shouldn't be an excuse. This looks super weird. In my opinion, this just looks like super weird. but maybe trusting the process. I'm trusting the process here. This is supposed to go down there and not. I'm not doing even straight lines straight. I don't know if you can see them from up above. I hope you can. I'm a bit humiliating myself today, I think, more than usual. Because this looks absolutely terrible. But I'm learning, so that's the point. That's the point of this. I am learning. So then from here, I know I shouldn't have gotten above that, but still. I didn't have enough space on this sheet. I feel like this part is much bigger than that part, so maybe this should have been a bit more, even more like pointing upwards, and this should have been a nicer, like neater line. Okay, so this goes down here. I hope you're doing it with me, because then I would feel less embarrassed, you know. I would like to have like a platform where we could all do this together and actually see how we can all like not know what we're doing together. You know, that would be great, I think. To just have the freedom of not knowing what you're doing. So if I do this, kind of looks like that. Really kind of. Because I think this should have gone further up, honestly. At least up till there. I haven't given teeth to my skull, like just tiny, tiny teeth. Not very. I feel like here I did like a huge amount of teeth, and here I'm just doing like super tiny teeth. That's not working, obviously. But it makes sense. I mean, I think it kind of makes sense. Also, without any kind of shading, I think nothing really makes sense. Just looks weird. I think here I've gone a bit too like up. Like the curve here is not right. Should have been less curved, if that makes sense. What do you think? Do you think this makes sense? From here it should like go down, and then I'm not going to do it because I used a piece of paper that was too small. Yay. But I think that kind of makes sense. I think I kind of understood how I'm supposed to do it. Again, doing this in 45 degrees is really not helping me. And yes, also, I mean, doing it once a week, that's not helping as well. I've heard people telling me that I should do it every day. I'd love to, but you know, I have another actual job. So I can't afford to do this every day. Unfortunately, I would absolutely love that. But, you know, have like an artist residency for completely unprepared people. Instead of having it, you know, for skilled artists. You can do it for artists or creative people who want to learn a new technique. That would be amazing. I'd love that, you know, to be in the place where you'll have all artists, but nobody's doing what they know how to do and everybody's doing something else. I think that would be absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna do this here. So in this third, I should have the lips and the chin. I feel like this third is quite huge at the moment. So maybe I'm gonna like make it slightly smaller, because it does feel like that that's not twice that. Yeah, so I'll make it a bit shorter. I'll make it something like that. Yeah, I think that looks better. And I'll start it with this pencil, which is harder, but also it's not doesn't make a mess, and my hands won't be like all dirty like they are at the moment because of that like super soft pencil. So let's start. The good thing here is that I have a line that is more or less parallel. So I don't think that was really parallel. So I'm going to trace it again. But in my opinion, and obviously this is just my opinion, but having these lines just helps so much. Like having this line over here, can you see it? Yeah. This line that goes like from this point of the eye that just goes down. I think it just helps me so much. Like I can go down from here and, you know, have that line. So I know where this ends. That helps me so much, like so much. So I know that my jawline kind of starts over here. This looks so weird at the moment. And then the second line is from where the nose ends. So it starts the bend where the nose ends. So here it's going to start bending, and it's going to be parallel to the cheekbone, to all these lines. So I'm going to just draw a line here because this is going to be, you know, parallel to that. And then it's going to start going upwards where this is closing. So around here, we're going to start really going upwards. Yep. So something like that. I think I'm not going upwards. Oh, because it's not going where I think it's going up here. So that's why it looked weird. I was going in the wrong place. So that goes, I think I'm doing like a very big chin at the moment. So maybe that should be slightly smaller. Going a bit more inside. You know what I mean? It looked like a huge chin. Still kind of does, honestly. But, you know, one of the things that really helps here is the lips, which I haven't drawn yet. And I also haven't drawn like this hole over here, which starts around here. And then it connects with where the teeth are. So then here I would have my lips. So I feel like this should be more, it should go in more. I always feel like I'm having like the biggest problems I have up on this side. But, you know, maybe it's just because this side is more obvious. It's more obviously there. So these are going to be my lips, which I'm not going to do like, I'm not going to make them finish down here because, you know, that's improbable. But these are going to kind of be my lips. Which, I mean, it's weird because skeletons obviously don't have lips. So I don't really know what that is. I've been calling them lips, but honestly, I mean, skeletons don't have lips, and I don't think there is. I'm trying to see. The skeleton doesn't have any kind of, and the lips go over the teeth. Those are not lips. So I don't know what I'm drawing at the moment because it's not. It could be the underside of your, you know, your gums rather than your lips. Just to have an idea of proportions, I do feel like this should just go in. Here should be all dark and stuff. So I'm gonna do that because at the end of the day, I feel like learning to see is as important as learning to tell your hand what to do. So learning to see where all the lights and shades and all of that's going to be is as important, because sometimes, I mean, you need to teach your hand how to do stuff, obviously, but you also need to teach your eye how to see stuff, because not always obvious. At least that's how I see it. That's how I think about it in jewelry. And so that's how I tend to think about it here. You know, I did learn how to create jewelry quite well, if I do say so myself. So I think that approach works. I feel like I'm not using the same curvatures for the teeth and the jaw, which is obviously wrong. So I'm just going to draw 2 lines here just to understand where the curvatures should be. And I think I made them a bit too round. Well, they should be a bit more arched, because the teeth are not round, obviously. It's not like perfect half round situation. So I feel like I haven't given them a shape, you know. I just gave them a kind of, round thing. And that's not fair. Rather, that's not accurate. Rather than fair, I don't think they will be offended. I don't think my drawing will be particularly offended by myself not doing it in the right way. So that's going to go over here. I think that looks a bit better. It looks like it has a shape at least. Because before it didn't. Honestly, it didn't look like it had a shape. I don't know if this is right, because this should be like that kind of lip situation. And now I feel like the teeth are too small. Fuck. I feel like the teeth are too small now. Because this is fine. I just did maybe the lines too heavily. So I'm going to try and remove a bit of this to see how it looks without all of this, because it's a much more like delicate line in the original design. So how does that look? Because this should be the hard line. I'm pulling it down a little bit just because, as I told you, I feel like I've made the teeth a bit too small, so I'm pulling this slightly down. I'm doing this on purpose. You see, that hole is much bigger than my hole, but it also goes up to here, and I think it takes away a bit of this. Does that, and then we have the teeth over here, and then we have a back part that could easily be up here, you know, and just go in this direction. I'm using all the erasers I have, basically. What do you think about that? I think that's better. And this should be visible. I think that's kind of better. I'm not sure. And also, do we think that this is parallel to this? It isn't, but it isn't not for a lot. So this should be much steeper. Should be close to down here rather than up there. I know this is not very, I mean, I'm not a professional in this scene, but I really like using the erasers behind the pencils. I know that's very, you know, people that really do this use much better pencils that don't have erasers, but I thoroughly enjoy it, so who cares? This is just a safe place to be, to learn how to create art and stuff like this without being judged and without being, ashamed of not knowing how you do something. Nobody knows how to do stuff until they do. You just need to learn. And that's what I'm doing, and what I hope you're going to want to do with me. There's something wrong. I feel like now I've done this part too short. Because this part here should still, you can see that here you still see the teeth, like the first line is down here. So this should touch this line while this is over here. So either I make this come like closer to the front, so I make a kind of skinnier, well, not skinnier, but like smaller face, or I have to make this go much further down, and so this all needs to go down. I'm going to watch it from above. So I did do this too short, so I need to do this. Oh. I don't like doing this. I don't like not doing it right on the first try. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I thought it was going to be better than this, honestly. So what we're going to do, this is going to go lower down, and this is going to, I'm not going to use that as reference, but this is going to be close to here. And I also have to bring this down a little bit. I kind of like that. I'm kind of pissed now. I have to erase a bit of stuff, quite a bit, honestly. I'm really jet lagged. I told you I was going to use it as an excuse. I'll also try to make it better for next Thursday, so that we can go on from here instead of redrawing this, because I don't want you to lose time just because I drew something that was wrong. So this is a better kind of angle. I'm gonna need to erase this as well. See, if I had noticed that point of contact before, I would have avoided this mistake, but I didn't. So I think that's why it's so, well, that's not the only reason, but that's one of the reasons why I think it's so important to check out, where things are touching and where you can have a point of contact. It gives you a good sense of proportions, of like how things are going, of all of that. So I think here it's a bit too low. Now I've made this skull very teethy, and I kind of think like it starts quite smaller here and then it becomes bigger in the front. So I have a strong need of erasing everything and starting from scratch, but I'm not going to do that, because who cares if there's not perfect, who cares? I'm gonna get this a centimeter or so longer, and this as well. So I'm gonna redraw this one. This needs to go around here. I feel like now it's a bit chinny, but I feel like it's better than before. It has better proportions. It's a bit chinny. It's a bit, a lot of chin. So I'm gonna make this slightly less chinny, I don't think that's even a word, but I enjoy it. And you get what I'm saying, right? So, unfortunately, our 30 minutes are up today. So I'm sorry that I didn't do more than this. I'm going to shade and then start working on the actual draw, which is going to be, you know, absolutely incredibly difficult. But I'm quite excited. So I hope you had fun and you took a break, because that's the important thing. And I hope you tried a new art form or something like that, because I think it's very important. If you are whatever kind of creative person, just, you know, try. And if you stink like me, go out and try again. I think it's fair. It's just fair to not know how to do stuff and learn. What else are we supposed to do? Anyway, I'll stop here, and I hope I'll see you tomorrow when we will talk about art news. And also remember to watch the documentary we're going to talk about on Monday. It's about Basquiat, and the teenage years. It's an amazing documentary. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to do it last Monday, so we're going to do it. We're going to talk about it next Monday, and please give it some time. I promise it's worth to watch. It's amazing. So I'll see you tomorrow, and I hope you have a lovely afternoon or day or night, whatever, wherever you are. I'm going to stop blabbering. See you soon.